On this week's live stream, Mr. T takes you on a tour of his cutting-edge new technology camp. Plus, learn how to use AI-powered software to make yourself a character in your Scratch projects. And in our latest extreme makeover, see how we renovated this undersea bubble simulation to make this colorful fish tank. All this and more coming right up on the Chromeworks live stream. Hey, good morning, world. It's Mr. Tomec back again after a whole long month away from you guys. I know everybody missed me. I certainly missed myself. So I was very, very busy setting up my brand new summer camp here at the RA Center in Ottawa. So this is really a dream come true for me. I'm going to give you guys a little tour of the camp in a couple of minutes, and we're going to kind of talk a little bit about what the idea is behind this thing. So I know you guys most of you aren't in Ottawa and probably don't have a great interest in what my summer camp is here, but I do think it reflects my philosophy of education and the stuff that I'm trying to do here on YouTube as well. So this summer camp is totally different from anything else that most people have ever seen. Number one, the staff to student ratio is just off the charts. I have 4 Ottawa Carleton District School Board co-op students working with me, and all of them are fantastic. They're all straight A students who've come to me for a summer job, basically, and they've been helping me make videos and do all kinds of amazing stuff this week. But they're also there to help these kids. On top of that, I usually have 3 RA Center staff counselors with me, and then I've got my trusty assistant Ben, who's a former co-op student. So it's me and 8 helpers in there working with 20 kids. And so what that affords us the freedom to do is have all kinds of different projects and stuff going on in different corners of my studio. So every single kid could potentially be working on a different project. And that's what my education approach has always been about. No curriculum at all. We don't want to tell kids what to do. We're just we're giving them the skills that they need, giving them the tools that they need, and then just letting them go to town on it. And that's what's so exciting about this camp. And it's part of what I've been trying to do with these live streams. Give kids the skills that they need to be able to make what they want. Let's go have a look at my new camp right now, guys. Hey, and welcome to the Chromeworks Digital Learning Studio, my very own summer camp. I'm so excited to be here at the RA Center in Ottawa. After 2 years of being stuck at home and quarantine and broadcasting to you guys, I can actually work with real live children now, which is really exciting. So we've been doing some great work for the week and a half that we've been open, and I just wanted to give you guys a tour of the facility. Let's have a look. So as you can see, this is an office space that we're in here, and the RA Center has let me use this facility for the summer, and we're doing all kinds of amazing coding and multimedia work here. I wanted to show you how I have this place set up so that we can do multiple different activities all at the same time. Let's go have a look. So we're here in the coding area where I teach Scratch, usually with a projector showing on this whiteboard. This isn't the only coding that's happening in the room there. Off in other corners, people are working independently on their own projects. I have a very out-of-the-box idea for this camp where different people are working on different stuff at any given time. So no one has to take any lesson that I'm teaching. They're all voluntary. And so while I'm busy in one corner, I've got other people who are walking around, circulating around the class and helping kids with their own coding projects so that everybody can work on something that's meaningful to them personally. So unlike a lot of traditional summer camps where kids are made to share computers, here at Chromeworks, we have a personal Chromebook for every single student. And so the students all have the opportunity to work away on their own personally meaningful projects. We have helpers all over the place here who can swoop in and help kids when they run into trouble, but otherwise they just go to town on things that they want to work on. So as you can see, I've got a whole bunch of high quality lighting gear here, including ring lights and studio lighting. Proper lighting is so important for video projects and for stop motion as well. And this is the kind of thing that kids in their normal lives don't have access to. And so we're able to do some stuff here that kids aren't able to do at home. Where do we do all the filming? Let me show you. So this room is actually a former corporate boardroom that I've repurposed into a studio. As you can see behind me, I've got a screen where I can teach and show whatever's happening on my screen here. And this whole area here is kind of a control hub where I push all the buttons and tweak the knobs that are required to do my filming. Over in this corner, we've got a lovely green screen that goes floor to ceiling and has room for quite a few kids to be recording simultaneously. So this is our maker space where I have a gigantic collection of Lego and Lego figurines and toys and almost anything else you could want to work with for stop motion. So we're making some really fun stop motion projects here. And as you can see, I've got all the lighting and stuff set up and a lovely green screen behind me so that we can make some very high quality productions. So this place is really my dream facility. It has all the equipment and space that I need to provide a really high quality education to the children who come here. And we have all the help that we need to give everyone the education that they deserve. So I'm really excited to be bringing you more of what's happening here. I have a new YouTube channel that I've launched called Chromeworks Camps, where I'm going to be directly uploading a whole bunch of student work as they get finished with their projects. So you can subscribe to that if you're interested. My co-op students and I are also at work on a series of high-quality video tutorials that we're going to be bringing out to you starting today. So stay tuned for that, guys. Hey, and welcome to the Chromeworks boardroom filming against the green screen there. One of the big changes that I'm making here is that now I have an actual producer working with me. I'd like to give a big warm welcome to David, a former co-op student who's joined me here, and he's going to be with me every Saturday this summer to help me broadcast and help me help push all the buttons. David's just finding it overwhelming there. He's suddenly entered my world, and he's seeing all the different little knobs and things that you have to twist and turn and hit at the right time. And I was just telling him, you can imagine what it's like to have that confusing job and then also try to think about what you're going to say next. So so welcome to David. It's gonna be a little rough for a couple of weeks here, but I think he's going to fit in nicely once he figures out how to control all these things. So I'm hoping there'll be fewer of those audio glitches and other things that led to my infamous nervous breakdown stream a month ago where I basically decided I needed a vacation. So I'm really having fun with my camp kids, and they've been doing great stuff. One of the wonderful things that I love about this space here is we've got a really nicely equipped stop motion studio now. I love doing stop motion projects with kids, but generally speaking, the lighting is always very, very poor, and when you're doing it in a classroom, and so you never quite get the effect that you want. It's especially fun to do stop motion when you're in front of a green screen, and so I've taped a green screen to the back of my main area there where I'm doing the stop motion, and that along with a little bit of lighting is really helping us up the quality of our material. I've had my co-op students put together a little compilation of stop motion projects that were made this week, and I thought we'd show that to you right now. Yeah, so here's William's project, a little car crash. Love that one. So the kids are just learning. Here's another great, oh, this one's gory, oh my God. And here's another crash. William has been all about the car crashes. And this one, William did this one as well. It's a train crash, of course. Boom. And here's another boat. William was one of our most active stop motion participants. Here's Jillian. Now this was a cool project where we built a Lego castle brick by brick. And I like this kind of Lego project, just showing the building process in motion. Yeah, it's awesome. And then two little characters move to the front, a little fanfare, and then we move on. There you go. So yeah, just a few of the little stop motion projects we've got going here. We're going to be working on some bigger, meatier projects as time goes on. But again, we've got this free-flowing thing happening in our camp right now where everyone gets to work on what they want to. So some kids, like William, for example, are super excited about stop motion and just want to make a million projects. Others, yeah, they were more interested in making scratch projects. We also were able to make film projects here. We started filming a whole bunch of stuff. Last week we started working on a UFO landing video, but the infamous internet blackout happened last Friday, and that stopped us from editing it and finishing it. So my campers never got to finish that video. But we're going to be doing more kind of little video projects like that as well, and we'll be showing you this stuff as time goes on. I wanted to tell you guys about my new Chromeworks Camps YouTube channel. And so that's our sister channel to this one, and it's a special place where I'm going to be putting material that's been made by students. So it's going to be unedited footage, basically, of stuff that's being produced at my camp. It's just another little chance to get my kids who are online to give them a little bit of fame, to get them on the internet a little bit. So every kid who comes to my class and to my camp is going to get a chance to post something on the internet. So if you're interested in seeing what we're up to at our camps in a little bit more detail, you can head on over to that channel. You'll be able to link to it from my channel, and I'll put something in the file description down below that will show you guys where to find it as well. So again, it's just unedited, raw footage of Scratch games and video projects that are being made in my camp. Lots of Scratch stuff going on at my camp this week. I did all kinds of teaching, and my assistants were running around helping people with all sorts of amazing projects. One of the most dedicated Scratchers that I met last week was a boy named Matthew. He spent the entire week working on a single game, and he kept and this is one of the things I love to encourage students to do, is go through different iterations of it. David, let's get that up right now. So this is a maze game that David has put together.
Scratch has hundreds of pre-made characters that you can use to create animated stories.
David just needs
what
to
if you
figure
want
out
to
how
put
to do that.
yourself into the
So
story?
go to the right scene,
In
David.
this tutorial, we're going to show you a simple way to convert ordinary photos of yourself into animated.
No, so you're clicking on.
Scratch
No,
has
that's not
hundreds
it,
of
buddy.
pre-made
Go over
characters
to
that
live
you can
stream
use to
teaching.
create animated stories. But what?
Okay. Sorry, David, it's a little rough. We're going to get it figured out. Fortunately, there's like one person watching, which might be us, so we're not worried. We're not too worried about it today. Anyway, what a great learning experience this is for all the kids who are participating. Like David's learning how to be a video producer. My co-op students are also producing videos, and my kids are learning at the same time. So we've got this environment where there's teenagers and young kids all working together, and everyone learning while they're doing it. The older kids mentoring the younger kids, and I just think it's been a really fantastic experience. Anyway, so back to David's game, and let's get you playing that right now, David. So it's a maze game where you're trying to. One other thing, David, can you move the projector output to the front so I can see what's happening in the game and narrate that window, the window on my screen over there? No, just click on the window to bring it to the front, buddy. No, if you look at the screen that I'm seeing, the window at the back there, bring it to the front. Just click on it, dude. Okay, there we go. All right. Sorry about that, guys. We're gonna figure this out, I promise you. Anyway, so Matthew made this game where you have to navigate through increasingly complex mazes trying to get to the green spot, and he just spent the whole the whole week just iterating this project over and over again, making it better, adding different features, and then eventually adding new levels. And it was so funny because every time he added another feature, he would announce that he's into version 1.1 of his project, and he'd make a big announcement in front of the camp inviting everyone to try and play the new version of this game. And the kids got right into it. They were all competing with each other, and we ended up having a little tournament to see who could get through his incredibly difficult maze game with the least possible errors and stuff. So I think that was a fun little experiment. So it's another example of how our camp's running, right? Everyone's working on stuff that they're interested in, and we're giving them a chance to show their stuff to other kids, to improve on it, and we're giving them the tips and the Scratch expertise they need to get stuff going. So that's fantastic. What's up next? So my 4 co-op students, who you'll be hearing a little bit more of as the summer progresses, David, Michael, Abigail, and Riley. They're all fantastic students, and they're doing some amazing work for me. So while they're working the summer camp, we're also, because I have them for 8 hours a day, which is longer than the school day, one of the things that I'm able to do is use some of their extra time and some of the extra staff that we have around here to get them making high quality video tutorials for me. So so I think I left out Venuja. Sorry, so I said David was one of my co-op students. David's a former co-op student. So again, it's Riley, Michael, Venuja, and Abigail. So Venuja and Michael worked this week on a really awesome video tutorial on how to take your pictures of yourself and put them into Scratch. This is something I've been interested in for a while because I think it's a great classroom activity. Take pictures of yourself in different poses and then put them into a little Scratch story and use yourself as the subject of a little Scratch story, basically. So I asked them to walk through. We have some really cool AI software that we're using to remove the backgrounds of images, and they're going to tell you all about it. So let's get on that right now.
Scratch has hundreds of pre-made characters that you can use to create animated stories. But what if you want to put yourself into the story? In this tutorial, we're going to show you a simple way to convert ordinary photos of yourself into animated Scratch sprites. First, you're going to want to create a storyboard for your project, like this one, so you know what pictures you'll need to take. You can do this with a piece of paper and a pencil. For each scene, write what pose you want your character to do. Now that we have a plan, it's time to take our photos. You can use a digital camera, phone, tablet, laptop, or pretty much any device that can take pictures. For the best results, you can use a green screen if you have one, but you can also use a blank wall or any backdrop that isn't too cluttered. Make sure you're standing far enough away from the camera to see the whole body, from the top of your head all the way down to the bottom of your feet. You'll also want to make sure you're in a brightly lit room or outdoors. Here are some examples of photos that will fit nicely in our project. Notice how we have good lighting, a plain background, and a large frame. And here are some examples of pictures that don't work as well. In this example, the camera is too close to the person, and in this example, the background is too messy. Now we have our pictures. If you used another device to take your photos, you're going to have to find a way to get your photos onto your computer. Scratch has hundreds of pre-made characters that you can use to create animated stories. But what if you want to put yourself into the story? In this tutorial, we're going to show you a simple way to convert ordinary photos of yourself into animated Scratch sprites. First, you're going to want to create a storyboard for your project, like this one, so you know what pictures you'll need to take. You can do this with a piece of paper and a pencil. For each scene, write what pose you want your character to do. Now that we have a plan, it's time to take our photos. You can use a digital camera, phone, tablet, laptop, or pretty much any device that can take pictures. For the best results, you can use a green screen if you have one, but you can also use a blank wall or any backdrop that isn't too cluttered. Make sure you're standing far enough away from the camera to see the whole body, from the top of your head all the way down to the bottom of your feet. You'll also want to make sure you're in a brightly lit room or outdoors. Here are some examples of photos that will fit nicely in our project. Notice how we have good lighting, a plain background, and a large frame. And here are some examples of pictures that don't work as well. In this example, the camera is too close to the person, and in this example, the background is too messy. Now we have our pictures. If you used another device to take your photos, you're going to have to find a way to get your photos onto your computer. You can email them to yourself, share them on a Google Drive, or put them on a flash drive, or whatever else works for you. If you're having trouble with this part, ask an adult for help. Now that we have all of the files on our computer, we need to remove the background from your image. You can use an image editing program like Photoshop, but I want to show you a really amazing website that uses the power of AI to separate pictures of people from their background. It's called remove.bg, and it's totally free for small images like you'll be using in Scratch. Download all of the images that remove.bg makes for you onto your computer. Now that we removed the backgrounds from each of the pictures, we can import them into Scratch. To do so, open up Scratch. Once you're on the project that you want to add the picture to, go to Sprites and select the blue bubble. Click on Upload Sprite at the top of the navigate to the folder with all your pictures. Once there, select one of the images. Now that the picture has been added to Scratch, we can add the rest of the poses.
Yeah, it should be unmuted now.
All right. Okay, so that was a little glitchy again. What we're going to be doing is releasing a fully edited version of this film as a standalone video, and this is what we're going to do with all these high-quality videos that we're producing today. That we're producing this summer. Is we're going to on Monday or Tuesday release every one of them as its own separate project. So this was a little messed up, and we had to start and then stop and then restarted it. But if you are interested in the tutorial and got messed up watching it, you can see the full thing on YouTube on Monday. Okay, so what's up next here? So I wanted to give you guys a demo of this software anyway. So this is the program. Again, it's called remove.bg, and it couldn't be simpler. So you just take a picture of yourself, and in this case, we're just going to load it into the system, and almost the second you load it in, it immediately removes the background. You see how fast that was? And does it automatically. It's totally free, and only for low resolution images. If you want a super high resolution, they do charge money for it. So companies will be using this for, I've seen them using it for removing the backgrounds from cars, for car auto ads and stuff like that. And but the remarkable thing about it is you don't need a green screen really. It uses AI to detect to detect the edges around your body. It knows the difference between a wall and your hand, for example, will cut out around your hand, even if the wall is a little bit, if the wall has clutter and stuff on it, right? So it's smart enough to remove like a wire or a photograph from the background and just cut the picture down to you. I'd love you guys to experiment with it, and if you make anything cool, you can share it with me and I'll put it on my stream. Anyway, so Remove BG is a really cool AI tool. We were talking to our camp class this week a little bit about AI and some of the really cool applications that are coming out now for using AI a little more effectively. There's one really fun AI utility that's been in the news quite a bit lately, and that is, it's available on a couple of different websites, but the one that you can go to is called crayon.com. It's spelled like crayon, except it's C-R-A-I, like artificial intelligence, Y-O-N.com. And what this AI engine does is you basically type in what it is that you want Crayon to draw a picture of, and it does its best to use its AI skills to draw custom photos for you. So one of the cool things that we did with it in camp was I was asking people for prompts. What do you want me to draw? What do you want the computer to draw? And one of the students said, let's draw a let's draw a hacker eating Cheerios. And so this is what we came up with. David, why don't we zoom in on some of these and have a look at some of the better ones? So yeah, there's a really excellent example. You can see that the faces are a little bit weird, eh? And you'll see some strange kind of monstrous effects in people's faces here. It's not perfect. It's still a work in progress, but I'm really amazed. Let's look at the middle one there, David. I like that one a lot. Yeah, so the faces are a bit strange. All right, Deck was with us. Thanks, Deck, for joining us again, and he's just left again. So have a great day, buddy. Anyway, so really, really cool utility that can do all kinds of stuff. I don't think we have anyone in the audience watching right now. If anyone's online and wants to suggest something that we can run through this AI engine, let's give it a try and see what the AI makes. David, do you have a suggestion of something that we can have it draw? Something weird? I'm putting you on the spot here.
How about noodle soup?
Noodle soup. Okay, so let's go over to a new tab there. Now the process takes a minute or two to do. So we're going to get a couple of them going right now. So David's going to do a noodle soup thing and hit enter, and then go over to the next tab, and I'm going to get my own search queue going here. So I'm going to do mouse riding a bicycle. If anyone is out there in the audience and wants to suggest something, it doesn't look like there are, so that's not going to work. But so let's do one last one. And maybe we'll do Mickey Mouse on the Empire State Building. You can try anything you want to, dudes, really, literally. So let's try that out. Okay, so let's go back to the first one and see how the AI is doing. Oh, there's one. So, no, not. So let's go back to that first tab. So this is the noodle soup one. Let's pick one of those to look at. Yeah, so it didn't even have to generate this. I think it just found some pictures of noodle soup for me, which is what Google Images can do, right? So the interesting thing comes in when you give it some bizarre instructions. Let's look at the next tab and see how my mouse riding a bicycle looks. Yeah, some interesting stuff there. So let's look at the bottom middle one. That one looks good. Mouse riding a bicycle. Very cool. Let's look at a couple of other ones, David. Just show me a few. That is cool. I really like that one a lot, actually. Wow, that's really neat. Okay, nice. All right, so let's look at the next tab, the Mickey Mouse on the Empire State Building. Oh, the AI put it up on the observation deck. Let's look at the bottom left one. I think that one might be good. Very, very strange. Very, very strange. Anyway, just another really cool example of the weird stuff that AI is doing nowadays. You guys have probably been following the story about the Google executive who thinks that maybe Google has achieved sentience. They have a chatbot working at Google right now that is so good at imitating people that it might very well have passed the Turing test, the famous test that determines whether an AI has actually achieved sentience or self-awareness or not. Google saying no, this guy is not really 100%. They don't think that we're there yet, and they've looked at this chatbot footage and they're not convinced yet. But this chatbot, there's transcripts of its conversations online, and it's saying some really bizarre stuff. All right, so I had one other little video segment, and I didn't put it in my playlist for David, so it's going to freak him out now. But anyway, every once in a while I do a segment called Extreme Makeover Scratch Edition. And what it is we basically take a student project and we... What it is we take a little student project and we do a little upgrade on it and teach a little Scratch lesson based on it. So that's what we're going to show you in just a second here. Big shout out to Diminator from Russia who made this project for us. And yeah, and we had one of our campers do the upgrade. Let's look at that right now. watching, dude. It's okay. We're just, nobody's watching. It's all good.
Okay.
So you're starting to understand it a little more, though. You keep hitting the buttons too early and stuff, right? This is
Yeah.
this is not something that's too complicated for you. It's just a lot to absorb at once, right? I'm hitting you with
Yeah.
all of it at once, so don't feel bad about it. We're gonna figure this out. You've seen me do some horrible, horrible stuff as we've been working here. So anyway. All right, so I did forget to add that one. So all that's left is back to just me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll just say a little goodbye, and then we're gonna go to the outro.
Which is this one right here.
Yeah, and then immediately that's like a 2-second clip, and as soon as that has finished playing, hit end stream. Okay.
Got it.
All right. Okay. So and remember to unmute the microphone, right? thanks again to everyone who participated in helping me make that project. So it's been a little rough. We're just getting things going again after a month, and we're doing a whole new way of doing stuff here in a whole new place, and so there's been a few glitches. Fortunately, almost nobody's watching, so we're not all that worried. Many thanks to David for taking his first shot at being a producer, and it's a trickier job than it looks, and you've seen me mess it up many times trying to do it myself. I feel like in the long run we're going to have a much better, more professional stream, but it's going to take a few false starts before we get it going. So thanks everyone for your patience. We'll be back next week with more interesting projects that have come out of camp, and stay tuned for some of these standalone projects that we're going to be releasing. This Bubble project and the Put Yourself into Scratch project are both going to be released as individual projects. I have a few more co-op projects that are sitting in the hopper that I'm also going to release, so we're going to have quite a bit of new content for you in the next couple of days. It was my birthday yesterday, so I'm taking the rest of the day off and going to try and relax and have a little celebration with my family. So we'll see you again next week, guys. Thanks so much. Bye now.